Tswana forum e beteletso jalo ke Tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi go tla go tsatsang ka lehatshe la gabo go tla go bua ka dilo tse di harologaneng tse di letlang gore babeeletsi ba ka tlhoma madirelo a bone mo lehatsheng la Botswana o itse jalo gore babeeletsi ke batho ba ba lwelwang ba lebella lehatshe ka bophara mme lehatshe le tshwanetse la itlhoma ko pele gore ke ba tshwanetse ba dipeeletso tsa bone ko lehatsheng la Botswana mme gone mo thulaganyong go sologetse jalo gore go tlatsa kana go tlela mahoko a ga Tautona ha supa seemo sa peeletso ka lehatshe la Botswana go sologetse jalo gore go nne le Repaps Midov ke ene go mo ga ba kamedi ba campaign ya HP Antwerp e witseng jalo gore e ne a beeletsa ko lehatsheng la Botswana ngwaga o hitileng mo tla nna gone ha go tla go ha bopaki a bua le babeeletsi jaaka ene gore ke nnete go maleba lehatshe la Botswana le sena le seemo se sentle sa peeletso
kaitseria ka ke file mogautsane re a go hela kwa dikganyeng tsa rona tsana kwa bosupa mme ke re lebogela tota go bore ba mo dinakong ka loeto le le ko kwa Amerika ka ko kwa eleng gore Tautona le lekoko la gagwe ba le ka go ngwakela bagwebi mo hatseng leno hatse la Botswana moragonyana kgante jana kaitseria ka ke tla ba ke ikgolaganya le wena wetso ke file mogautsane a le ko hatseng la Amerika ka ko Dallas gone ka ko eleng gore ba BITC le lekalana le hilwe maikarabelo a gore ba ngwake ba gwebile go phutholola dikgwebo gore di kgona go dira sentle mo hatseng la Botswana e le bone ba leng mo lekokong leo bana le Tautona ka kwa mme Tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi a tabo a buisa ba gwebi kana ba beeletsi gona ka ko ka maikelo gore a ba ngwakele mo le hatseng la Botswana a bua jalo gore ibile mongwe wa bao ba ditemane HP Antwerp HP Botswana ele Rafael Papis Medov ele mongwe yo tla hambo paki gore e le ruri lehatshe la Botswana ke lehatshe leo ka gwebisana le lone a bolela lehatshe e le bopaki jo bontseng yalo a re poteka go tsongwa ke dikgang tsa rona tsana kwa bosupa wetso madume gape dikgang ke tsa Botswana television metsotso e le mebedi morago ga nako ya bosupa re ga sa ka tlhamalalo go tswa toropo kgolo ga borone ke bidiwa Benson Phutego mako re ditibole hela ka go leba ditlhogo Tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi o tsweletse ka go kopana le babeeletsi ba Amerika ka maiteko a go ba ngwakela mono Mothusa Tautona Reslam Batsogwane o kwa Kenya go tsena Phutego e buisanang ka seemo sa mmu wa kgaolo le tiriso ya menontshane Memo go tsa metshameko setlhopha sa bathumi ba monogae ba baneng ba ile kgaisanong kwa Angola ba re ba tlhokana le go dira go ntsi go ka gaisana le bathumi ba mafatshe a mangwe wetso yo tsi o ranola ka puya diatla o bidiwa Boinelo Ntshole me gare tsena mo dikganyeng Tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi o setsa kopana le bagwebi ba beeletsi le bangwe ba ba eteledipele ba lefatshe la Amerika fa e sala goroga kwa toropong ya Dallas Texas go tsena Phutego ya US Africa Summit morago ga pulo semmuso ya Phutego eo Tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi o na kopana le moemedi wa lefatshe la Amerika kwa lekgotleng la ditšhaba Melinda Thomas Greenland yo gape teletseng le pele lekoko la lefatshe la Amerika kwa Phutegong eo ba ne ba buisana ka dikgang tse di farologaneng di akaretsa peeletso le seemo sa itshireletso mo kgaolong ya Aforika Tautona o ne gape a kopana le mogakolodi wa Tautona lefatshe la Amerika mo mererong ya kgotetso Re Amos Hochstein Tautona Masisi o ne a nna le sebaka sa go buisana le moeteledipele wa lekalana la Power Africa le le itebagantseng le go dira dipeeletso mo mohameng wa tsa kgotetso le go atolosa kgokelo ya motlakase mo kgaolong ya Aforika lekalana la Power Africa le tsweletse ka go buisana le lefatshe la Botswana mabapi le tsa tirisano Re salefo babeeletsi ba Amerika ba kopile go emisa go nna le poifo ya go beeletsa mo kgaolong ya Afrika mme ba tshepe mebuso go sireletsa dipeeletso tsa bone Tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi o tlhalositse se mo puisanong ya setlhopha se se neng se itebagantse le go bula diphatla tsa peeletso mo mohameng wa tsa boranyane kwa neng a tlhalosa fa lefatshe la Botswana le ikaelela go ntsha dikgopi kgotsa direpodi di pefela tse di ka kgoreletsang peeletso ke filwe mo kgaotsane wa bega
Puterabo le somele barataro e kopanya mahatsa a Afrika le bagwebi ba Amerika e tsweletse mono Dallas jaaka ba etelele pele mo go tsa sepolotiki peeletso le tsa kgwebo ba tsweletse ka go buisanya ka dikgwetlho le diphatsa tse di teng gareng ga Afrika le Amerika. Dr. Masisi o nna le seabe mo puisanong e ne mo kopantse le mothusa tona kgolo wa lefatshe la Lesotho mmemedi wa lefatshe la Amerika ga mmogo le ba Mahama o ikemetseng o ne a supa gore go akanyetsa kgalo ya Afrika maswe ke nngwe ya dikgwetlho tse di teng.
We are keenly aware that you perceive Africa in general as risky, and perhaps in Botswana's case also risky. We want to hear what is it that you are scared of, so we can remove it from your way. What are you scared of? Because in terms of on the policy front, we have done that which the textbook says we ought to do. In terms of our integrity and values, we've done that which is to be done. In terms of our reputation, we have done that. Yes, we still hold the pula, which is our currency, but it's convertible. So we need to know from you, what else do you want?
Fela mo kamedi wa lekalana la America la Trade and Development Agency a re go nna le poifo ga babeeletsi go le bane ke ka jalo lefatshe la America le tse re bontlha bongwe jwa boikarabelo jwa go fokotsa poifo eo.
There is typical risk of infrastructure projects, right? Things like the due diligence that financiers will expect. Things like wanting to understand that this technology should and can be scaled and how. Wanting to know the project sponsor really well. So these are the typical risks beyond what His Excellency has mentioned that I do think addressing can help to bring down risk for investors and encourage investment. And I said this in an infrastructure roundtable just a little bit ago, where we can help to mitigate that kind of risk. For example, with grant funding, which would help to bring down costs, we should do it.
Despite the political challenges, you have a lot of opportunities because everything is to build. And when we talk about AI and all of that, what is scared me to death is where are our data? Where are the African data? 2/3 of the African data are outside, everywhere else. We need to increase the traffic in Africa. We need to build digital infrastructure in Africa because sooner or later they're going to bring back revenue. Our data are outside. We talk about AI and all of that, which means that people can predict what we do because the real challenge in digital is data.
Matlo o tla ba ganetse mo lehatsheng la Botswana jaaka le tla bo le ipalama bala khaka go rokotsa babeeletsi ba ba tseneng phuthego e ba ba balelwang mo go 1,200. Ke Filo Mokhatsane, BTV News, Dallas, America.
Kharetswa kwa Amerika kwa golenteng tautona Dr. Masisi mere khabaganya le watle le transatlantic area ka ko Kenya mothusa tautona re slamba tsogwane o gorogile kwa Nairobi Kenya kwa solofetseng go tsena phuthego e itebagantse le menontshane le tlhokomelesego ya mmu e ibidiwang Africa Fertilizer and Soil Health mo go la ka moso go solofetswe gore phuthego eo e ngokileng baeteledipele bangwe ba mafatshe le bana la seabe ka go farologana ga bone e bue ka fa go tokagadiwang ka teng mebu e lemiwa e go lemiwa mo go yone le go tlhoafalola tiriso ya menontshane mo kgaolong ya Afrika go leka jalo go ntsha dijo tsa boleng go tlhalisiwa fa mafatshe a gatile monwana gore go dumalana ka tsela tse di ka dirisiwang go tokafatsa mebu ya Afrika e kokonelang thata balemi ba ba botana kwa magaeng phuthego eo ya monongwaga ga imtsha ga se tlholo mtsha ka e sala maiteko a lekgotla la mahatshe a Afrika a 2006 a tumalano tsa Abuja go rotloetsa mahatshe go tlhokomela mebu le go atolosa tiriso ya menontshane e maleba go thusa jalo balemi mothusa tautona ga nosi ka jana a patilwe ke mothusa tona wa tsa temothuo re molebatsi le bagolwane bangwe ba puso. Kwa Uganda modulasetilo wa komiti ya palamente go tswa kwa lehatsheng la Uganda mme a le mono Botswana Dr. Abed Banwika wa kgoletse lefatshe leno go beeletsa mo mohameng wa thuo go tswakanya itsholelo a tlhalosa fa go dira jalo go tla tlhabolola boleng jwa leruo le go ntsifatsa leruo monogae. Dr. Banwika o buile se jaaka ba ne ba etetse lefelo la kgwediso ka seatla kwa Ramatlabama kwa kgaolong ya Morolong le lekoko la gagwe lone Sekobo o ne a le koo.
Tona Ramirama a re loetolo lo tla banela sebaka sa go anya maela ba tla dirisang go tokafatsa mohama wa thuo kwa lefatsheng la bone mme a tswela a supa fa tshwetso ya lefatshe leno ya go tlhabolola le go shagatsa lefelo le go nna boremelo jwa kgwediso ka seatla go tla thusa fela thata go tokafatsa leruo monogae.
I want to applaud your government for the veterinary infrastructure around this country and also for disease control, for committing resources to put a double boundary fence along the border. I want to thank also the leadership of this institution. What you are doing is very good. I've traveled to Europe. Actually, your standards are near European.
Mafase ka bobedi a itlamile go tiisa botsanano le go godisa papadisano magareng ga one.
We would like to see the Africa Continental Free Trade Area being put to use by a cooperation between our countries.
I
believe that this visit is one of the most crucial when it comes to building the relationship and the bond between the two countries.
Setšhaba se rotloeditswe go etela polase e ya kgwediso ka seatla go ya go tsaya dikitso tse di tla ba thusang go tlhabolola leruo la bone ka seo se tla bo se thusa le go godisa itsholelo ya lefatshe. Pheo Phuduhudu, BTV News, Ramatlabama.
Phuthego ya bagwebi ya Forbes Under 30 Summit e kemiseditse go rotloetsa banana ba dikgwebo tse di potana go gola ba tsaya malebela le go kwatabolotsa kunkuru mo dikgwebong tse di atlegileng tsa banana go tsweng kwa Amerika. Maikelelo a phuthego e ke go tlotlomatsa lefatshe leno e le boremelelo jwa itsholelo e ikaegileng ka dikitso mo kgaolong ya Aforika ga mmogo le gone go godisa dikgwebo tsa banana mono le go atolosa bokgoni jwa bone mo mehameng jalo e harologaneng. Banana ba Forbes Under 30 ba ne ba etela dikompone tsa ditemane le tse dingwe e le maikelelo a go rotloetsa le go ba ruta go dira dikgwebo tse di farologaneng go godisa itsholelo ya lefatshe leno. Phuthego eo e tlile bokhutlong mo tsatsing la kajeko. Mewetso hale gone o tsubang se gona sa ditshwantsho dikgang tsa Botswana Television tsatsi ile la laboraro ga re tswelela mogolwane wa lekalana le le thusang ba ba amegileng mo dikotsing tsa tsela la Motor Vehicle Accident Fund MVA mme le sedimolatedi a re go botlhokwa gore ba ba amegileng mo dikotsing tsa dikoloi ba dirisa madi a itshetso ka kelello gore ba tle ba kgone go tlamela kana go tlamelwa jalo ka lobaka. Mme molatedi yo neng a bua jana kwa dithutong tsa dipuisano tsa MVA monotropo kgolo Gaborone a re batho ba ba thusiwang ka madi a itshetso segolobogolo ba ba nang le dikgwetlho jalo tsa go bereka morago ga dikotsi ba tlhoka go ipaakanyetsa bokamoso jo bontle. Pego ka botlalo ka Tsholofelo Tombale.
Lekalana le le thusang ba ba amegileng mo dikotsing tsa dikoloi ka madi a itshetso la Motor Vehicle Accident Fund le gatelela gore thuso e neelwang batho ba ba nang le mathata a go bereka ka ntlha ya dikgobalo tse ba nnileng le tsone mo dikotsing tsa tsela ga e ka ke ya ba thusa ka lobaka lo lo leele. Ka jalo MVA e tsweletse ka letsholo la go ruta ba ba amegileng mo dikotsing tsa dikoloi ebile ba thusiwa ka madi gore ba kgone go dirisa madi a ba amogelang sentle go ba tswela mosola.
It's so painful to see motho a tshwanetse re ba a nna le covera eng kana support ya covera loss of income a ba hetse ka kgwedi ya nta come June o na le dinisi tse dingwe tsa ditlhokang ga gona sepe sa nang le sone ene ditsala di simolola go gola thegelela gone ka go se nang letseno teng ka moso e nnang kete MVA fund e sutile batho sethabeng
madi a go sa ratela se gore ke selekanyo se se kae a manyenyane go le kae go botlhokwa gore o itse gore o nne aware gore madi a ba dirisa eng. One of the most important things that we do for madi a ba dirisa eng ba getso ke go budgeta ke go save ke go tlhopha ka ga o dirisa madi a gago ka teng.
Ba ba amegile mo dikotsing tsa koloi ba ne ba rotloediwa go dirisa mananeo a puso a go thusa batho go nna bagwebi ka se se ka thusa go oketsa madi a ba amogelang go tswa mo lotloleng la MVA.
Jaanong gape go ke tlo go arogana le lona ka re thusang ka teng ko Local Enterprise Authority. Mandate wa rona le mananeo a leng gore a teng a ga governmente a seng gore ke a le a hela a leng gore re le mo rumong ya gampieko re ka akanyetsa go oketsa bonyenyane jo e leng gore ba MV ba thusa ka bone.
I would like to appreciate the presence of Balia and Absa who were with us in this meeting today. We've learned a lot from Leah, things that we do not usually get to understand more because we usually don't visit the offices. Apart from that, Absa has also given us a brief service that they provide. So I'll just say I've learned a lot today.
Bontsi jwa batho ba ba amegile mo dikotsing tsa tsela ebile ba thusiwa ka madi ba lebogetse ke monokeng ya letlole la MVA le ba afileng mo dingwageng tse di fetileng. Tsholofela Tombale, Botswana Television, Gaborone.
Engwe ke reng go safadiwa ga lefelo la kgwediso ka seatla le le mo metsimantsho kwa kgaolong ya gantsi le le neng la jewa ke molelo wa naga ngogola ka Phatwe go tsweletse. Tiro eo e tla lopang dikete tse di lekgolo tsa dipula e solofetswe go wela ka kgwedi ya Phalane. Barui ba kgaolo eo ba re lefelo leo le le mo tirisong fa le le mo tirisong tota le ba fa sebaka sa go tlhabala leruo la bone ka moroto wa dipoo tsa boleng jo bo kwa godimo. Angela Enosa ka pego.
Lehelo la kgwediso ka seatla la metsimantsho le butswe ka ngwaga wa 2022 mme pele le jwa ke mololongo kgaola le ne le na le bokgoni jwa go tlhatlhelela marobanyana a le sekete a letileng go kentiwa ka meroto a dipoo tsa boleng jo bo kwa godimo. Molelo o kgopeditse maiteko a barui ba ba iletsang go akola kgwediso ya maemo a ntlha mo kampeng e.
Polasi ya rona ne e shele hela yote. I would say ngwe bo 95% ya ene ne e shele. Molo wa tawa matshenyego e ntsi thata e diragetse ga Masakeng. So re ne ra senyegelwa ke masaka a rona go morago ka kwa. Ka jalo ra nna le kgwetho ya go sa tsenya dikgomo mo programong ya AI last year. Ka re ne re setse re dirisitse bonnyane bo neng re bo tshwere re le phata. Rata ra e budgetela gore maintenance wa ene re ta o dira this year. So madi a tsene kgwedi yone re tswa mo go yone so re plan la gore e be le gore tota re setse re simolotse thulaganyo ya go baakanya polasi.
Tiriso ya mahelo a mohuta o e tla ka nako e barui ba go tlhoang go ntsha leruo la boleng jo bo go godimo jo ka thusang gore ba bone dipoelo tse di botoka.
Ke lebogela lephata gore ba bo ba tsibogile ka bonako se se supa gore tla re mo bonako mo bogauhing jo bokhutshwane go go ka stokiwa ya kgona gore tswelle rane purpose e ne e betswe bogolo jang thata re lebile gore gato re ikaege ka temothuo ka re ke tsone dio tse re di kgonang thata mo kgaolong.
Morago go ntšha diwa lehelo le le tla bolna le maranyane a tlhabologileng.
Sengwe sa dio tse di dirilweng ke boranyane jo e leng gore ka re le ha modiri yo tlhokomelang gone ha a batla go itse gore go diragalang ka kwa sedibeng a ra le ko lapeng kana le ko kae a dirisa laptop ya gagwe go komela go dirile boranyane jo e leng gore ha o le mo range ya bo around 30 meters ya fence tsweng ho o ka kgona go bona gore motho o batla go irang tota maikaelelo a gagwe ke.
Puso e kopile go tsibogela seemo sa ditsela tse di yang kwa kampeng e ka di le mo seemong se se siamang se se ka kgobang marapo barui ba ba iletsang go dirisa ditlamelo tse. Angela Enosa, Botswana Television, Metsimantsho.
Me re tswela le tsone dikgang tsa thuo balemi barui ba kgaolo ya Tshanoga ba ka tshwaragano jalo le bogogi jwa motse ba simoloditse tiriso ya didiba tsa bogologolo tsa lephata la metsi. Kgosi wa Tleng Setlhodi wa motse wa Tshanoga o tlhalositse fa ba bone go le maleba go dira jalo ka ba itemogetse letlhoko la metsi le la mang mohama wa temothuo mo kgaolong ya bone ka ntlha ya dipula tse di butsana tsa monongwaga. Maretha Kaisara le Atlasaone ga o latlhope ba rulagantse pego.
Go kgala ga dinoka tsa Thamalakane le Boteti go amile mohama wa temothuo mo kgaolong ya Tshanoga ka sebaka. Go ya ka Kgosi Setlhodi, e rile ba itemogela fa seemo sa metsi se ya maswe mo leruong ga mmogo le diphologolo tsa naga ba kopanya dithogo e le boeteledipele le barui ba metsi ya Tshanoga le Kaokale go tswa ka methale ya go rarabolola seemo se. Ka jaana paka e fetileng e ne e sena dipula.
Mme re ne ra kopa dithuso ko go ba Ladybird Still le ba Shumba Plant ko go Ryan le Layandri mohumagadi wa gagwe ba ne ba supa gore ba ka re thusa gabedi. Ba ne ba re rekela equipment ya sediba yotlhe le go hira bodiredi jo e leng gore bo ka dira sediba se gore se te ha se leng teng gompieno se kgone go ntsha metsi.
Modulasetilo wa lekgotla la balemi barui mo Tshanoga Reke Tshile Jambwe a re barui bangwe mo kgaolong eo ba ne ba kgona go ntsha dipudi tse pedi mongwe le mongwe e le tsela ya go kgobokanya madi a ba ka dirisang go gokela dipipe tsa metsi mo didibeng tseo.
Noka ene na le botshi matshwakgalo di sa itse bua motebe tse re tshela ka tsone mo nokeng di tswe di thabina go sha a di balile re tshela ka noka e re gisa tse dintse tse re di lebile mo go yone ja no noka e kgadile e be ra gore ko re bola le rue bola phololo bola le tswela setho ga re sa tswara mo botshelo jo bo itekanetse mme be re buisana ja no rona maekalo re dira ja ka re thasetse ja ka khosisa a sa tswa go bua be re tantsa dipuli ko re tu tsa mathombo di tla dira re maintainer go gore ta bo re le teng
koko ka le Batswana ba ne ba kgobokanya leruo ra kgona go duela boro machine ra bora ba nosa la ha re kgerethisa ka sebaka ka lebaka la gore ga rena sego mme gone re tsweletse sente ko kale gone mo kgaolo yone re kopile metsi ko go Regram wa coexist ra nosa ko re kopile metsi ko go Reyapi ba Castello Farm le bone barui ba ba nthae ka kwa ba thota eo ba nosa re kopile metsi ko Drifters le gone ka ko seemo sa rona se siame.
Barui bao ba re ba mo lenaneong la go tudisetsa dipaepe kwa thoko ga tsela go itsa motsamao o montsi wa dikgomo le go baka dikotsi tsa dikoloi fa dintsi di tolela kwa nokeng go ya go bata metsi. Maretha Kaisara, BTV News, Tshanoga.
Wetso molotsana o ke o thobisang khutlwana sa tsa metshameko ka kgaitsedia ke laetsa o seke kgaitsedia mo.
Tumela Benson, la boraro yo mo le mo kgaitsedia ka re emetse jalo tlhatlogo ya morena.
Ka moso tlhatlogo ya morena a bua ka modimo o go mologa ka bana ba phego ke heretse ga maikutlo gonne ke ene tshimologo le bokhutwa ke le botlhale bo ba gago ba dikgang ke modimo he.
Akere tla ke go le kgaitsedi ka wetsole na tla ke tse sebaka se ke go dumedise jaaka kgaitsedi ka boletse na ke bidiwa laeza o sekeng ka tsa metshameko mme re di simolla hela ka tsa kgole ya dinao. Setlhopha sa Holy Ghost se notile sa Police 11 ka no e lengwe go lefela mo motshamekong wa beke ya bo masumi a mabedi le borataro wa liki ya BOTSWANA Premier o neng o tshamekelwa kwa Lobatse Sport Complex tshokologong eno no eo e tsene mo karolong ya ntlha morago ga phoso ka le morago la Police 11 mme re go tshwaretse dintlha kgolo tsa motshameko o
go bontsha yo tshameka le ene gore maikelo a go ke eng ya ka ke imisimologela ha o tsa o bona le ba ka go pele
bona a very casual ball motho a tlhalosa jalo Joshua Ngoma ka jeresi ya bo masoma mabedi le bosupa ka he mo gomotse hela le gala ba etsa we pega le lefaufau bona Police 11 ba ka bona sekwe motho le thataganyane go godimo ga dikota gana le sego le kawara le tondera hinya kuwa.
More like really, this game is going to be a tense game. Getting an early goal like that one, it was a motivation to our players. Since they had that belief that indeed we can do it, and that belief they carry on up until the last minutes of the game. That's how you won the game.
We were almost there, especially first half. We created. This is the story of our lives, especially for Police 11. Whereby we were doing everything. Last third, we are doing entries, we are creating chances, but at the end of the business, it's a tough luck to us. So, yes, congratulations to Holy Ghost. I think they did very well. You could tell that second half that they had a plan to say, let's compact. We'll always caught us on transitions. But we tried. We cannot falter these boys. Sometimes anxiety versus the result is always, frustrating that when you don't get a goal and you concede a goal like that one at the first minute, a deflection. Sometimes this kind of goals, they win with the match. And indeed, we dig very hard, but we could not make it.
Mo metshamekong e mengwe ya tshokologong eno e ntse le a Botswana Premier Matebele ba wile ka dintlha tse tharo kwa Orapa morago ga go fenya Bengae Orapa United ka dino tse pedi go elengwe kwa lebaleng la Dikgang. Township Rollers e kgwatisitse VTM FC ka dino tse 4 go lefela fa baeteledipele ba Loko Johannesburg Galaxy bone ba kgaogane dintlha le 11 Angels morago ga go palelana ka maleka a no setlhopha. Kwa lebaleng la Obed Itani Chilume kwa Francistown gone setlhopha sa Masitao ka seganeditse se se reng ga ya latello mosimeng ba Fapa Traffic ka dino tse pedi go lefela fa NAKO United e pegile Security Systems tse pedi go elengwe kwa lebaleng la Samsono kwa Selebe Phikwe. Re sa le fo setlhopha sa Mogodisane Fighters se tlhatlogetse kwa maemong a bolesome mo leking ya First Division ya ka kwano borwa ba sena go fenya UB Hawks ka dino di le pedi go elengwe mo motshamekong wa beke ya bomasume a mabedi wa leki eo o tshamekilweng tshokologong eno kwa lebaleng la SSG. The Samba Boys ba ba tsene mo motshamekong o ba le mo maemong a bofelo ke bone ba ntlha go nosa ka leoto la ga Tebogo Mogotsi mme ba tshwarelela ketapele eng go fitla bobedi jo bo ya go ikhutsa. Karolo ya bobedi e tsamaile metsotso e le merataro ka go se senye a lekalekanya dino pele Mogotsi a ipwa seboaboane ka no ya bobedi ebile ile ya phenyo ya banna ba kwa Mogoditshane.
We're playing a team that is in the bottom of the log, fighting for their life for relegation. So they played to their best. Sometimes when you come trying to rotate the players, this is what happens. We rotated a lot of players. Second half we came back. We could have scored first before they scored of them. If you are playing in this last few games of the league, it is good for you to utilize your chances. If you don't, this is what happens. Everybody is fighting either to remain in the league, either to go and win the top of the league. So it's going to be last two games are going to be very difficult.
It was a game of two halves. First half we dominated a little bit, but unfortunately we did not convert our chances effectively. But then second half, after their substitutes, about 6 players, their regular players, that's when they had to pile a little bit of pressure. But we had to punish them with that silly. I should think they could have defended. The fair result could have been maybe a draw or so, but unfortunately for them. But we needed the 3 points more than anything else.
Sabatumi ba le lesome le bobedi se boetse monogae go tswa kwa kgaisano ya Africa Aquatics Swimming and Open Water Championships tse di neng di tshegeditswe kwa lehatsheng la Angola. Kgaisano eo ya maemo a kwa godimo e ne ngwekile mahatsi a kgaolo ya Africa a le 40 le bobedi go fa batshameki sebaka sa go tokahatsa dintlha le dinako tsa bone le go leka go ipatlela phatla kwa dikgaisanong tsa di-Olimpiki kwa Paris ka kgwedi ya Phukwi monongwaga. Batshameki ba monogae Tselane Matthews le Khalil Sethi ba ba dingwaga tse di mabedi ba tlhalositse ha ba lemogile gore ba tlhoka go tsaya karolo mo dikgaisanong tsa mothale o di le mmalwa gore ba kgone go tokahatsa tshameko le dinako tsa bone. Bobedi jo bo tlhalositse gape gore ba tla tshwanelwa ke go itsolopanya jaaka ba ipaakanyetsa di-Olimpiki tsa ngwaga wa 2028 kwa Los Angeles kwa America.
I think the main thing is to trust in the plan and in the training plan that our coaches have set out for us. Obviously up the training, the days and the intensity of it, also the meal plan and most importantly, like the mental aspect. And also just to get exposure, going to more galas. The more galas the more meets you do, the more, experience you get. The more you get more used to like competing and everything. Yeah. So obviously this is a big competition. So there are girls who are a lot faster. There are also girls who are not as fast, but. Yeah, with the backstroke, I competed in 100 and 200 backstroke, and I'm quite happy with my performance. They were season best, so that's all I can ask for.
For me personally, I think it was one of the biggest competitions I've swam in to date, and it was definitely nerve-wracking going against some of these big guys, almost double my age. But after the first day, I think I managed to calm down and get racing, not to worry too much about who I'm racing against, because us being young, around 14, 15, 16, up to 20 being our oldest, I think it's a good opportunity because now when we go for our next champs, we'll all be a lot older and have experience racing at these competitions. So instead of just going and focusing on personal best, we can go and try and get some medals next time.
Very important.
Wetso pego e nngwe garela jalo dikgang tsa rona tsa metshameko mme tla ke etse sebaka se tota go busetsa kwa go kgaitsereke Benson Phuthego yo a emeng sentle gore gakola gape dintlhakgolo tsa rona le gone go re isa jalo ka kwa lehatsheng la America kgaitsereka
kgaitsediake bana ha re pala dikgang kgaitsediaka mme tota mme ke go leboga ka gore ke batara go hela ka kwa America ka kwa wetso ka tsela e ntseng jalo mako re kgabaganyetse kwa America kwa toropong ya Dallas kwa Phuthegong ya bolesome le borataro ya US Africa Business Summit jaaka tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi a fa molaetsa wa letsatsi la go rotloetsa bagwebi go tsweng America go beeletsa jalo mo lefatsheng la Botswana Marilebe.
Honorable Minister Eric Molale, Honorable Minister Musi Khafela, Honorable Minister Lefoku Moahi, Chairman of CCA, Mr. John Olajide, Deputy Permanent Secretary to the President, Mayor Bukole. There's a minister that I missed, Honorable Minister Fidelis Molau, Permanent Secretaries here present, heads of state-owned enterprises, captains of industry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Invest in Botswana session here at the US Africa Business Summit. Thank you for attending this session. As Botswana, we are always on the lookout for investors, and this is yet another opportunity for us to talk to you and interest you on Botswana and what Botswana has to offer as an investment destination. So without wasting any much time, I will immediately invite the Honorable Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable Musi Khafela, to come to the podium and welcome all of us and immediately invite His Excellency the President to the podium. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Botswana, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi. My dear colleague, cabinet ministers here present, Dr. Lemogang Kwape, Honorable Mr. Eric Mutibi Molale, Honorable Mr. Lefoku Moahi, Maxwell Moahi, and Honorable Mr. McDonald Milidi Molau. My dear colleagues, from neighboring countries, I do see you, Honorable Lucia Lepumbu from Namibia. I immediately see you, Mr. Kumalo from Eswatini. Flori and the CCA team here present, Mr. Chairperson, and all the team, all the faces which we saw in Gaborone last year. The Deputy Permanent Secretary to the President, Mabukole here present, I see also chief executive officers from Botswana, Chief Executive Officer of Parastate House, Mr. Olibile Kiletsusitse from BITC, and from other parastatals who I saw here. Captains of industry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. Let me not go extensively in announcing or recognizing by name each of you present here, but I do see some very regular faces here present, some from Botswana, some from neighboring countries who are in the business community. You are most welcome, all of you. And my role here is very short, is to simply welcome you to this session of doing business in Botswana on the sidelines of the US-Africa Business Summit, which we are here about in the year 2024. We have been participating as Botswana in this year in the US-Africa Business Summit, including, if you may recall, the one which was held in Gaborone last year, and for which we were grateful for your gracing of it. Most of you who were present then, whose faces I do see here. It provides an opportunity for us to interact with each other, reflect on opportunities, share ideas, and see what the horizon holds out for us. And it goes further. But before I say so much, let me just acknowledge the ongoing efforts by the government of the United States of America in reorienting its international economic policy and trade integration and collaboration with Africa. The Biden administration has reiterated the need to improve Africa's infrastructure. Because, ladies and gentlemen, trade runs on infrastructure. Without infrastructure, our trade efforts become retarded. So the Biden, we must express gratitude to the Biden administration's outlook and its assertion or its encouragement of the need for us to support infrastructure, which will then also support supply chains. This reiteration was echoed at the US-Africa Leaders Summit in 2022, which was held in Washington, where the US administration promised to further support innovation, to support entrepreneurship across the African globe. In essence, it means investing in Africa's people by identifying new existing opportunities and helping to develop the necessary human capital and physical infrastructure around those, both as a core aspect of the partnership for global infrastructure investment as committed by the G7 leadership. My role here today is to welcome you to this side event that focuses squarely on Botswana. It would, however, be remiss of me not to talk about existing opportunities for partnership in our country without trying these to the current thinking and desired direction of your great country. We are alive to the fact that the emphasis has lately been on leveraging private capital to maximize project pipelines and partnerships in like-minded countries such as Botswana in order to deliver real benefits and expand opportunities for our people for years to come. Our role is to work within our parameters, which is to find ways of strengthening ties amongst ourselves and collaboratively work together on key sectors such as trade and investment, such as health, food security, renewable energy, climate change, mitigation, and advancing technology or technological innovation for enhanced efficiency. It is for this reason that we have brought with us a private sector contingent that has tentacles in all of the aforesaid industries, as you will hear them when they get to introduce themselves at some stage during this program. Let me finally take this opportunity to welcome all of you to this very important session as we begin our earnest deliberations to finding structural responses that can stimulate stronger business confidence across the vast Atlantic divide. I thank you all for your kind attention and wish you kindly to take this opportunity to invite, or perhaps I wish to take this opportunity myself to kindly invite Your Excellency to the podium to give us your keynote address, Your Excellency, if I may make that invitation to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please take your seats. You're nearly an intimidating crowd. I came in here, I thought, I must be in the wrong room. Well, Director of Ceremonies, Minister Kafela from Botswana and your colleague ministers from the neighboring countries. I know Namibia is here, and I heard Eswatini is also present, and senior government officials from Botswana and the US, the Chief Executive Officer of BITC and your colleagues, Chairman John, CCA, and the President and Chief Executive Officer, and your colleagues in the room. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. Let me begin by stating what an honor it is for me to be here to address you this afternoon at the side event for the Doing Business in Botswana session of the US-Africa Business Summit 2024 in Dallas, Texas. My coming here was deliberate. I am the head of state of Botswana. This should be an expression of confidence building. I've come all the way to meet you. We mean business. I head the delegation. We're intentional about wanting to onboard you on our shores to invest. We'll treat you well, and I will enunciate how that will be. But I'm even more grateful for the opportunity to meet with delegates in Dallas, to meet and get to know you better. This follows our own hosting in Gaborone of the same summit last year. This very side event solidifies our commitment as a country to fostering stronger and mutually beneficial relations with the United States of America and the private sector. And I want to echo the words of my minister. Thank you to the USA for refinding us in Africa. This is a very good strategic move because we felt a little lonely for quite a while. Distinguished guests, allow me also to, in the same breath, thank profusely the Corporate Council in Africa, once again, for always finding time to continue nurturing this partnership between the US and Africa by way of convening this flagship summit every year without fail. And allow me to commend you in advance for the very successful summit you're going to convene next year on the African soil. The place, watch this space. You'll get to know. I must acknowledge that Botswana has a long-standing relationship with the United States of America. And we once again look forward to making use of this platform to engage with strategic development partners, including the private sector from the US and elsewhere, to help us move forward with our economic development and our transformational agenda. I might just appraise you that we in Botswana are the oldest multi-party democracy in Africa. We maintain pole position, and we have no intention of giving it up in our dispensation commitment to democratic ideals. And so, consistent with what we've done in the past, every 5 years without fail, we go to a general election. So in October this year, there will be a general election, there will be a contestation, there will be an announcement of results, there will be a government formed. Life goes on. It's Botswana. So don't be surprised if you see me again next year as president, but don't be surprised also if you don't see me as president next year. Botswana has embarked on a set of new reset agenda priorities post the devastating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. These priorities are not only geared towards recovery measures in the aftermath of the pandemic, but are also an embodiment of our people-centric approach to inclusive governance, where full focus is directed towards our people as we strive to eliminate poverty, address inequality, unemployment, as well as enhancing sustainability across our key industries and sectors. These reset agenda priorities, ladies and gentlemen, include, among others, digitization, where we are accelerating digital innovation in the delivery of government services and creating enabling conditions for the active involvement of the private sector and society at large in the uptake and utilization of digital technologies. Our intention is to digitize all government services in the shortest possible time. And we're engaging our youth companies particularly to develop those services and maintain them. I won't bore you with the details of how many. Among us in the team here, you will interact and you will get to know all that. In the same vein, we're also engaged in promoting value chain development, where we seek to unlock more value in the key sectors of Botswana's economy, such as agriculture, tourism, mining and education and innovation, creativity and employment of our people, especially our working age youth. I'm glad I saw Ralph somewhere. There he is, Raphael. Raphael heads a company called HB Botswana. HB is in the business of taking our diamonds and adding value to them in the most remarkable of ways. He'll give you the details. And they use our best talent, the best technology, and Botswana government is buying into his company, having fully agreed on the value, which mutually benefits us as we partake for the first time in the value addition, beneficiation of our diamonds. The youth of Botswana, like in most of Africa, constitute 60% of our population, and they are deserving of human dignity that is enriched by either decent formal work or gainful self-employment in startups of small and medium enterprises with a vision to grow. And the ecosystem for startups, we are also developing vigorously in our country and financing very strongly. We do have several schemes targeted the economic empowerment and development, since government has educated these very young people in various professions and trades. One area where we continue to explore avenues of partnerships is vocational education and training. I therefore appeal to you to be ready with your business models that can impart the 21st century skills and knowledge which can catalyze our youth to aggressively pursue entrepreneurship on a sustainable and globally competitive basis, and thus be the change bearers for Botswana's prosperity. We just came from MIT, where we engaged and agreed on a partnership which is focused on unlocking, through the use of technology and AI, the capacity of our young people to innovate and create. And the ecosystem is ripe and ambient, policy, legislation, you name it, including space to go and set up in. Distinguished guests, all like-minded countries in the world, including Botswana, are steadfastly and progressively implementing the collective commitment of achieving net zero emissions in energy generation and moving towards reducing carbon footprint as a foundation for the global goal of clean energy. We, in Botswana, therefore, seek to use this occasion to call for sustainable investments in green energy to help us create the jobs of the future while mitigating the clear and present threat of climate change. And here I'm reminded of a proposition that we co-share with Namibia of using where you find in the world the best solar irradiation potential of mega solar electricity production. It is in that same context, therefore, that we have made meaningful efforts to not only present projects and propositions for consideration, but also to keep a constant eye on all our facilitation processes and procedures, as well as a regulatory framework for doing business in our country. The government of Botswana has thus remained steadfast in our endeavors to continuously monitor, evaluate, and enhance the ease of doing business, reforms, and our global competitiveness. We have constantly ranked in the top 10 best countries in Africa with respect to doing business and Global Competitiveness Index. As part of our broader investment promotion drive, and to ensure that we remain investor-friendly and competitive, my government has taken a decision to set up the Botswana Board of Investment, which I will chair, as a way of affirming our total commitment to the ease of doing business in Botswana. This is done within the context of positioning and promoting Botswana as a destination of choice, offering a world-class climate for doing business. Furthermore, we in Botswana continue to reaffirm our commitment to the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, as spelled out by the UN. To this end, we have aligned our National Vision 2036, Achieving Prosperity for All, with this goal, global agenda of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, and are always eagerly participating in the continued discussions and discourses that highlight the commonalities and interlinkages in the development interventions and strategies underpinned by the principle of leaving no one behind. Our persistent appeal is for the advanced economies, such as the US, to deliver on their pledges for climate change funding and sharing the technologies for climate-smart production systems in order to significantly mitigate the adverse effects of climate change. And yes, small as we might be, far away we might be, but we watch your electoral processes very closely, because with respect to issues of participation in the climate agenda, it becomes hotly political in America, with effects, one way or the other, to the rest of the world. You know what I mean. The Republic of Botswana is so pleased that at a regional and continental level, the African Union Agenda 2063 and the Southern Africa Development Community Integration Agenda are both aligned to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which speaks to creating inclusive, prosperous, and peaceful societies. Distinguished guests, it is our goal to propel Botswana towards its brave and bold aspirations of prosperity for all, through reaching a high income status by 2036. It is for this very reason that we saw the need to come to the US and engage with you, because we believe there's so much we can learn from your highly progressive economy and its equally competitive, compelling human capital. And to achieve this desired state, we need investment in specific economic enablers, such as networks of roads, railway lines, and airports, and the logistical supply chain associated with the same, with a view to interconnecting economic regions and reducing travel time, distance, and costs within the national and regional economic space. To this end, Botswana has, in collaboration with Zambia, made investments in the construction of an aesthetically pleasing bridge that crosses the Zambezi River at a strategic place called Kazungula, thus creating a transport and logistics corridor linking Southern Africa with Central Africa and the rest of the African continent. And yes, within a stone throw away from the Kazungula Bridge lies Namibia, and on the other end lies Zimbabwe. We are in the process of developing the Mamabula-Lephalala rail line, which will also be a transport artery from or to South Africa through Botswana, connecting SADC and the rest of Africa. In the budget of the year 2024-2025, i.e. this financial year, we have allocated transport and public works over 3 billion pula. It sounds impressive when I say it in pula, but then in US dollars, it's $216 million US for road, for rail, and air infrastructure projects. Indeed, government is committed to providing the enabling infrastructure to ease movement of both goods and people between Botswana and neighboring countries. This is by far the largest budget allocation for road, rail infrastructure in a single financial year in the history of Botswana. I wish to also indicate to you the urgent need to improve our ICT network, voice and data I'm talking about, in line with the digital transformation strategy for Botswana. To ensure that we achieve the objectives of the strategy, it is critical for Botswana to develop our own data farms, as currently substantial megabytes of data are hosted outside Botswana. We're going to change that rapidly. Yes, because we're also getting into the business of data mining beyond diamonds. This would enable the necessary digital connectivity that required for innovation and knowledge-based industries. I am pleased, dear guests, to declare to you that our projects have a regional outlook to them. All our infrastructure projects are connecting us to all our neighbors, all 5 of them. Okay, South Africa, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe. We like to claim Angola as our neighbor because Namibia just took a little piece of us. We'll talk about it. All right. Dear guests, I'm pleased to declare to you, not only are they connected to all our neighbors, but we also wish to connect Africa and to enable our countries to benefit from the African Continental Free Trade Area. Let me assure you that our democratic and our investor-friendly Botswana is positioned to become a launch pad, a serious launch pad for doing business in Africa through our unrivaled good governance, macroeconomic and political stability, as well as our commitment to continuously improve our business environment. We also look to pursue potential investment and part funding in private-public partnerships for several public projects, which we will be glad to share with you in our engagements later on. It is befitting that I mentioned that this year, on some date in the month of October, as I said earlier on, we will hold our 13th general elections. And as I said earlier, no need to worry. Our elections are predictably free, fair, and uneventful. Pretty boring. Dr. Ceremonies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to conclude my remarks by directing you to the Botswana Investment and Trade Center, the investment promotion agency tasked to interest you to consider Botswana as an investment destination and to ensure they facilitate your startup once you've firmed up your decisions. And one of the things they will tell you is that Botswana is a AAA credit-rated country. They will also tell you there are no restrictions to foreign currency exchange controls. This institution is well poised to assist you with all the investment information, and they will roll out the fire engine red carpet for you through our Botswana One-Stop Service Center for you when you deploy. Not if, when you deploy. With these very few remarks, I want to thank you for your kind attention and anticipate that you'll set up shop in Botswana, our pride and your obvious destination as our brand beacons to you. Good afternoon.
We can take our seats. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for the keynote address. I always refer to him as Botswana's Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Public Relations Officer, Chief Investment Officer. He does it all effortlessly. Thank you once again, Your Excellency, for that keynote address. His Excellency has laid the foundation, and we will now go into specific sector presentations. We will be talking to some of the opportunities that he mentioned in passing in tourism, mining, and in tourism, mining, and the innovation space. And later on, we will have a Q&A. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, for any of the presenters or His Excellency, I know he's always willing and ready to take questions. So if you have any questions for him later, you can take down your questions and then keep them for later on. So before my first speaker comes onto the stage, we will just play a quick video, and then we will welcome our first presenter. And then later on, like I said, we will have a bit of engagement where we can do question and answers. So we will play a quick video.
We have some of the most progressive conservation policies. This has resulted in us being home to the 1,000th World Heritage Site, the Okavango Delta. It originates from the highlands of Angola, and fresh water, the freshest water you can imagine, trickling down, traveling over 1,000 kilometers, and when it gets into Botswana, it drains into a delta. And when it spans out, it waters and quenches the thirst of the mighty Kalahari Desert. And when that happens, you get the most diverse, exotic, aquatic species in a desert. And the flora and fauna that emerges from there, it's almost as if God in the book of Genesis left yesterday. It's beautiful, beyond measure. And there you can be in the midst of all this and feel truly the African regal presence. So come to my country and I'll take you on a tour.
That's the voice of our Chief Investment Officer, our Chief Marketing Officer, our Chief Public Relations Officer. Thank you very much. And we will go straight away into the presentations. First, we will have Meki Tumetse Setlang, the Acting Chief Executive Officer of Botswana Tourism Organization, to talk to opportunities in the tourism sector. Me Setlang.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Botswana, Dr. Mokgweetsi Eric Kiabezo Masisi, distinguished honorable ministers from Botswana and from the region, ladies and gentlemen, I've been allowed to go that short in terms of protocol in the interest of time. Good afternoon. My name is Kitumetse, as mentioned, and I'm here to interest you to invest in tourism in Botswana. A very tall order and a very difficult task to do shortly after an orator of note being my president. So please bear with me as I go through this presentation. Botswana prides itself as a destination of note globally, and our tourism product development is built on a foundation of sustainability. And by sustainability here, we refer to developing, using a natural resource that we are so endowed with people in mind. And when I talk about people, I mean the people of Botswana, I mean you as the investor. It is very much important that you appreciate that we hold you as the investors' best interest at heart. And that is why we are here to have a chat with you to interest you and whet your appetite in investing in Botswana. Botswana tourism is the second export earner in terms of government revenue following minerals, especially diamond mining. And I must indicate here and now that America is one of Botswana's most important source markets in terms of inbound travel to the country. In our development of tourism, we've taken into cognizance the importance of ensuring that our people are part of this development. And we employ a strategy that appreciates that in conserving our natural resource and preserving our heritage resource, our people have been doing it, and they've been doing it since time immemorial, long before books were written. And we would want you to come and join them in developing the tourism industry so they may enjoy a benefit or derive a value from this resource that they have preserved and conserved for the longest time. And as mentioned, the US is one of the top 3 source markets. For the longest time, the US, the UK, and Germany have been occupying the top 3 source markets for Botswana, bringing the world down to Botswana to come and see some of our pristine destinations, such as the Delta, such as Chobe, Kalahari, the Tuli. And I must indicate all these different areas are very different in terms of their landscape. Some of them are rocky, some of them are watery, some of them are sandy. And we would want you to come and become a part of this development. And we have quite a number of sites. I've been given only 5 minutes, so I'll fly through the sites. One of those sites is the Gaborone Tourism Precinct. It is a piece of land sitting on an 80-hectare plot where we are looking at developing conferencing facilities. We are looking at hotel facilities. We are looking at a diamond museum. And further to that, we have other development opportunities in the Kalahari area, the Quays Tourism Park, where we are also looking at developing some of the tourism infrastructure as mentioned earlier. The BOSUPA Leisure Park or Resort, where we are looking at developing hotel facilities and conferencing facilities. And our developments here, we are looking at both affluent markets, attracting the affluent market, the middle budget market, as well as the budget market, so that we cater for all different types of market. The President spoke about the Kazungula area. We have a 14-kilometer stretch from where the countries that he mentioned, Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, as well as Botswana, meet, a 14-kilometer stretch along the Chobe River front. And here we are looking at top-end developments in terms of conferencing facilities. We are looking at villas. We are looking at the retail sector. And this is where we would want you to come in and support us in terms of development. Those are pictorials that demonstrate exactly what we are interested in developing in the area. And we have allocated land around our dams in Botswana to citizen investors. And these citizen investors are looking for partners. And looking around the room, I am seeing some of the partners that will be holding my hand as we leave this place now saying, we are here. And further to that, I must indicate that we are looking for you as investment partners. And I believe you are interested in investing in Botswana. Who wouldn't want to invest in a destination that takes its people's interest at heart? Who wouldn't want to invest in a destination that puts conservation at the forefront of its investors or investment? We are looking for partners who can help us solve our problems. One of the problems that we have in Botswana is that it's a long-haul destination. And I say we are a long-haul destination because 20% of our visitors come from the long-haul market. And this 20% in terms of numbers of visitors contributes 80% to total tourism revenue. So this speaks to the importance of this market. Now, access is currently a problem. Most of these long-haul visitors have to connect too many times before they reach Botswana, therefore meaning we are losing revenue to the very many airports that they connect with. So as a partner, we are looking for those that would help us package Botswana through commercial charter flights, in groups as group packages to Botswana, so that we may shorten the time of the visitors to Botswana. I was only given 5 minutes, and technology allows for us to now allow you to download or upload onto your phones content which is much more elaborate than what I said this afternoon onto your phones, and have a lovely afternoon. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mayor Dikgang from Botswana Tourism Organization. Our next presenter will be talking to mining. We have the Chief Technical Officer, Mr. Matthews Bahope from the Minerals Development Company, Botswana. Mr. Bahope.
Thank you, Director of Ceremony. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I didn't realize I'm taller than somebody. Okay, thank you, Your Excellency. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, honorable ministers here present. I think protocol has been outlaid most eloquently by the previous speakers before me, so I won't waste time on that. I'm going to take you through what we do at the Minerals Development Company, which is the government's investment arm in all matters relating to mining and minerals. As you know, mining is quite an important pillar in the Botswana economy, and Botswana has come through the ages as a mature mining destination, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. So as far as the MDCB is concerned itself, our mandate is really simple: grow, optimize government's revenue on minerals, because you probably know the Botswana story around diamonds. We're trying to grow our story around other commodities, because as much as we are endowed on diamonds, we are endowed on other commodities as well, be it base metals, and with the new developments that we are seeing around exploration, a lot of other minerals that would be of interest to you. Over and above that, we've got what we call a BHAG, which is